time is 5:59 p.m. on October 27th. We are recording the 7th episode of the Draw the Line podcast. I'm joined by Lucas and Marvin. Today we have the first installment of the NBA Bills draft, inspired by Bill Simmons's. He calls it the Skins draft, and we thought that name was a little bit too vulgar, some could say, but we're going to go with the NBA Bills draft, and I'm going to explain how it works. We're going to go around picking NBA teams, and the goal is to earn the most bills. And how do you earn a bill? Well, every time you pick a team, you can decide. So every bill is basically calculated by either a win or a loss, and you can decide when you pick a team, I want that team's wins or that team's losses. For example, if with the first pick I decide to pick the Cleveland Cavaliers and I pick their losses, every time the Cleveland Cavaliers lose, I will earn one bill, right, or 1 point. So we'll keep it as bills. So every time someone drafts a team, we're going to then declare whether they want the wins or losses. And as a fun sort of our own personal twist to this game, we're going to say if you can predict one of your team's final record, like exactly. For example, if I said the Cavs are going to finish 1-81, right? And they do finish the year 1-81, then your points are worth double. Okay, that'll make sense in a little bit. But first, I want to introduce Marvin and Lucas. Lucas, how you guys doing so far? How's today going?
I'm doing good. I think since we last talked, Christian McCaffrey has been traded to the 49ers, so I'm feeling pretty hot. I think, obviously last week was not the best defensively against the Chiefs, but, we got the Rams, and the Rams are just bread and butter for the regular season, so pretty hyped.
Actually, let's talk about that right now, just while we're right here. I guess we'll hop into the Bills draft in a second. Christian McCaffrey traded to the Niners from the Panthers. This is the part of the season where teams that are not doing so well are clearly shopping their parts, and Christian McCaffrey was the first domino to fall in Carolina, which means maybe someone like Brian Burns may hit the market in a little bit. But Christian McCaffrey, an electric player, played at Stanford, his hometown team. I remember actually seeing Christian McCaffrey at the Pac-12 championship against USC a few years ago when the Levi Stadium first opened. That guy's electric. But as the story has gone for the last few years, how often are we going to see Christian McCaffrey on the field? Availability is totally, it's an attribute. It's a measure of your strength as a player. Marvin, what do you think San Francisco's ceiling looks like now with Christian McCaffrey on the team?
Oh my God, you caught me in a bad week because I am ultra low on the Niners this week. My fandom is at an all-time low right now. I almost disowned that team the other day. It looked like 0 people wanted to play. I think there was a total of 2 people who wanted to play football on the 49ers last week. But I'm holding out hope. I think they can finish 11-6. I think they can finish 11-6. That's a very realistic expectation. And I still think they're going to win the NFC West. I think after all this is said and done, they're going to win the NFC West because it's an open race right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the NFC West, we're very lucky with how it is right now, because if we're fucking up like this and we're playing in the East, there's no chance. But luckily the Rams are not as good as they were last year. The Cardinals are just booty, and I don't think the Seahawks can keep it up. I definitely think we're the best team, and if we get this win this Sunday, it's how are the Rams going to really come back from that? 2 losses to the Niners. I feel like we're going to win the NFC West.
The Niners, actually, I would just say the NFC West was a division we looked at a couple years ago and said, is that the best division of football? And it was like, oh my God, will 3 or 4 teams come out of the NFC West as playoff teams? And now you look at them and you think, oh, the Cardinals, they're kind of a shit show. The Rams, I feel like they lost too many pieces, even if they were so stacked for a while. Somehow those pieces feel like way more important than all the ones they have left. But I look at a team like the Niners and I think a trade for Christian McCaffrey is a win now move. That's a move where you're telling your fans, you're telling the team, look, we know what we have and we think that with this guy, we can get all the way to the top. I kick it to you, Lucas. Lucas, is this a Super Bowl move? Is this a move that we look back and say, hey, this is like the Andrew Wiggins trade in the NBA. This is the trade that really swung the season.
I'd consider it more of like, kind of like the move that the Lakers made for Anthony Davis. Just because you're giving up a lot of, I don't think it's as big of a move, obviously, but you're giving up a lot of future talent for a win now. And I think that the only real barometer of like whether or not it's a good trade is if we win a Super Bowl. And I think that's all you can say is like, if the Niners go on and win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years, which is what we have on McCaffrey's contract, then it's a good trade. If we don't, then it's probably not a good trade. I think that a Niners team with Christian McCaffrey is absolutely a Super Bowl contender. So I think it's like, it's a gamble, but if they win a Super Bowl, it'll all pay off, and I think it'll all be worth it.
Marvin?
Let's talk about his injury history for a second. Is anyone aware of what injuries he suffered in his career?
It was like a shoulder injury for a while. I had him. Okay, I'll be honest. Chris McCaffrey was on my fantasy team for 2 years, and he was like the number 1 pick for me both years. And when he did play, I won every single week whenever he played. He gave me like 30 points. But for 2 seasons of Christian McCaffrey, I got 5 games. So, and this season, it is looking really bad for my team. Like, my fantasy team is so fucking bad. I think I'm actually gonna go for the perfect season. I don't know how I'm gonna win a single game. Aaron Jones is terrible. Keenan Allen has also been hurt. He's been gone. My whole team is a mess. Russell Wilson's also terrible.
Oh my god!
It's just such a it's just a disaster.
Pack it up, Anton. Pack it up.
It's over. But
what's the punishment for the worst?
We have never had a punishment, but I feel like my perfect season may actually start. Like, we might start doing something just because of how we can't Anton can't get away with this. I feel like there's no way I'm gonna get away with this, like, just unscathed. Like, there's no way I can just put up a clean 0-14 and like, we just go on like next season like nothing ever happened. But I guess we'll move on to the the point of today's show, which is the NBA Bills draft really quickly. As I said again, we're gonna go around, pick teams. We're gonna we're gonna claim their wins or losses, and then at the end of the drafting, we'll go over each of our teams and pick one of them and predict their final record for some bonus points. To make this the fairest, I think I'll just do a random number generator, just so that it's it's really fair. And actually, I'm gonna share my screen I'm going to share my screen just so everyone can see.
Excellent.
So you can see random number generator, 1 through 3. Is that right? Is it 3?
That's right. There's 3 of us.
Well, I mean, does that give us...
Or you can do 1 through 9 and then do first 3, second, third.
Okay, no, that's just too complicated. Okay, Lucas, you'll be 1, Marvin's 2, and I'll be 3. Here we go. 1.
Well, how do I know that you didn't just pick that, knowing what the number generator is going to say?
Okay, here's what we do.
I think you need to do the little turn thing with like the NBA
yeah, this
lottery.
has like the NBA lottery.
Exactly.
All right, to make this the most fair.
Numbers for the
most, exactly. Randomly generate the numbers. So for Lucas,
mine will be whatever.
Lucas, your number is 3. Okay? Marvin, your number is 2, and then I'm left with 1. Okay, now I'm gonna refresh the page just so you guys know I'm not cheating. Okay. All right. So first up, 2. Marvin has the first pick.
Fuck.
Lucas has the second. I have the turn. Okay. So I guess we'll. I'm gonna stop presenting real quickly, and then I'll just have this up for us so that we can just constantly refer to it. I'll just make like a little notes thing so that everyone can see the draft board. Here we go. How do I add cells to this thing? God damn it, this is so tricky. Does anyone know how to add tables to oh god,
to Excel?
No, to on notes. Damn it.
Film school didn't teach you that, did it?
No, it didn't teach me this. Well, this is kind of brutal. I'm not gonna lie. This is just grinding the show to a halt. Okay, you know what? It's okay. We'll start first. We'll just not worry about that for right now, and I'll just keep track of it. Okay, so with the first pick, it's Lucas. No, it's Marvin, right? Marvin has the first pick.
What are we doing here?
Okay,
It
so
wasn't
Marvin.
in the script. It was supposed to be me.
I know, for real. Sorry. So Marvin with the first overall pick of the 2022-2023 Bills draft for the Dropline podcast. Marvin, dum. What do you think?
I am picking with the first overall pick. Marvin Lee selects the Sacramento Kings losses.
Wow, that is a crazy pick. Okay, tell us why. Sacramento Kings
Because
losses.
they're garbage. They have sold. They're gonna sell the entire season. They're going for Victor. They will have the most losses, more than any win that any team will have this year.
That is a
Wow.
very surprising pick, considering that the Sacramento Kings made a they made a move last season to get Domantas Sabonis, and now De'Aaron Fox is like playing well? Question mark. Keegan Murray looks
Yeah,
decent,
Keegan Murray.
No,
and the
they're
West
trash.
the West isn't as strong as it used to be. So I don't know, Mark.
Trust.
I feel like
Trust.
This is
hey,
a- this is an
hey,
interesting-
you're
okay.
gonna you just trust.
all right. I
All
mean,
right, trust.
whatever. Okay, Lucas, go ahead with the second pick.
Okay. All right. With my pick, I am going to take. We're doing snake draft, right?
Snake draft, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Orlando Magic losses.
Okay, Orlando Magic losses. Got it.
Yes, and I'm doing that because they're already 0-5. So
Yes.
That's fine.
For anyone listening, we were planning to record this before the season, but because of several scheduling mishaps, we didn't get around to it until now. And it's like the fifth game of the season at this point. But it's fine. There's so much season left. You never know what's gonna happen. All right. So I guess two comes to me. I get two picks in a row. So I thought about this my first thought is wins and losses are equal value basically. And you just want to and there's a lot of middle teams that you want to stay away from. The Sacramento Kings being one of them at Marvin Lee. But I'm going to go with a clear just who the hell are they team. It's the San Antonio Spurs losses. They are definitely tanking this season because Pop finally swallowed his pride and he decided I'm just gonna forget my system. I'm just gonna do what a franchise is supposed to do, which is tank, build assets, and then build a winning culture from those assets. And I'm looking forward to watching the Spurs tank it all and accrue me many, many points. So I guess very quickly before we head to the second round, I'm going to share what we got so far. Here we go. So Marvin with the first pick, taking the Sacramento Kings, Lucas with the Orlando Magic, and then I have the San Antonio Spurs. And then with the first pick of the second round, ooh boy, I am gonna go with. See, I feel like I don't want to pick a wins team right away. I think I gotta stay with the losses for this case. I'm gonna go with the Utah Jazz losses. Sorry, that's just completely ridiculous.
Utah Jaws.
Yeah, Utah Jazz. Whatever. Utah Jazz losses. I'm not fooled by the beginning of the season. I think they're just coming out and punching teams in the mouth. No one's expecting them to try to win. I just don't believe that a competent franchise would just allow this to continue, right? The Utah Jazz are basically the island of misfit toys. Lauri Markkanen is the reindeer that figures it all out, and he's Rudolph who flew away from the Cavs, and Colin Sexton's he's the broken Jack in the Box or whatever. The Jazz are just a team that are surprising people at the beginning, but I think midway through the season people are gonna figure out, oh look, they don't do anything besides hurl up threes and play some pretty weak defense. So Utah Jazz losses. Back to you, Lucas. What you got?
For me, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Milwaukee Bucks wins. First wins.
First wins.
I
Team.
think they're probably the most solid team that I know is gonna go significantly above 500. I think they'll be a 60-win team.
Wow, 60 wins. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't think that's unrealistic for the Bucks. I think as long as Middleton and Drew stay healthy, I think that team has been together for so long that and so much talent on that team that it's like they are going to win a lot of games this year.
Great. And then Marvin with his
You
first
know,
pick.
I'm gonna continue with this winning trend. I'm gonna go with the New Orleans Pelicans wins.
Oh my God, the Pelicans!
right.
Pelicans wins.
That's
Okay,
right.
okay, Marvin.
That's right.
This is a pick that may or may not break the season for you. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you can get away with tossing up a dud on the first one, but the Pelicans wins is a very interesting pick. Marvin, tell us why you're so intrigued by the Pelicans, taking them with your second pick.
The Pelicans are a young team, and last year they showed us that they can really play. They can really play. They gave the Suns a fight, all right, in that first round of the playoffs. And now they add Zion Williamson back. I think they're gonna be right up there in the Western Conference. I'm ready. I'm sold on the Pelicans.
All right. Okay. Well, let's head back to the draft board so that everyone can see where we're at currently. All right. So Marvin, Sacramento Kings. Oh wait, there we go. Marvin, Sacramento Kings losses, Pelicans wins. Lucas, Orlando Magic losses, Bucks wins, and then me, San Antonio Spurs losses, and then the Jazz losses. So with that, the turn comes back to Marvin. Marvin, with the first pick of the third round, you got.
Ooh, this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna pick. Man. Houston Rockets losses.
Okay, that's not bad.
It's a good pick. That's his best pick so far.
That's the best pick so far, yeah, for sure.
That's a safe pick.
Houston Rockets losses. Yeah, they're not a good team. I don't know. They just don't seem to have any identity. I mean, can you tell me what they're gonna do? I can't. Okay, Lucas.
They're gonna lose. I think, there's a pick that I want to make in terms of winning this, but I don't know if I can let the Warriors slip through my hands in the third round. So I'm gonna have to go with the Warriors wins, and I think I have a pretty good pulse of the Warriors, and I'm gonna guess their final season record.
Oh, you're gonna go for it right now. He's gonna go for it right now.
I don't need to go for it right now. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait till the end of the draft.
Okay.
But I have a number in my head of exactly what.
That's good. And then we have the dog barking.
The dog is barking.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it comes back to me. I'm trying to think of what. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I have so much faith in Nikola Jokic and his ability to elevate a team. I feel pretty confidently that the Nuggets are gonna finish in the top 3 this season. They're gonna finish in the top 3 this season because the Warriors. I look at the Warriors, Lucas. No offense, but I think they're gonna coast. I think they're gonna coast and they're just gonna try to get to the playoffs. But the Jazz are trying to play for something, and if I want to maintain my Nikola Jokic back-to-back MVP agenda, then I need to believe that he's going to finish, in the top 2 seeds at least to get that award, because no one wants to give it to a guy 3 times in a row. But I'm going to go with the Nuggets wins. I think they're a very solid team. All right, and we're going to head back to the board just so everyone knows who has taken who. Here we go. Marvin with the Sacramento Kings losses, Pelicans wins, Houston losses. Lucas, Orlando Magic losses, Bucks wins, Warriors wins. And then me, San Antonio Spurs losses, Utah Jazz losses, Nuggets wins. Okay. I think we're getting a little bit into the weeds in terms of who's really going to show up. And, man. I'm torn between two teams that finished pretty high last season. But all right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to pick the Phoenix Suns wins. I don't know why people are so down and out against on the Suns. Maybe in a playoff setting they can't clutch it up. I think we've seen that they may collapse in the playoffs when it really matters most, but this is not the playoffs. This is just the regular season. I think the Suns are built to win in the regular season. They definitely are. And it's more of like if you play Monty Williams against Monty Williams' system in a 7-game series, you're gonna figure it out eventually. You're gonna make adjustments, and he's just been outcoached in the last few playoff exits, against the Bucks and against the Mavericks. But in the season opener in Phoenix against Dallas, the last time those two teams played, Dallas blew them out of the water in a very disappointing Game 7. And then they came back down 20 to win against the Mavericks. And it wasn't Chris Paul. It wasn't DeAndre Ayton. It wasn't Devin Booker. It was Damian Lee, of all people. And I think that's what you need from a team like Phoenix. You need someone to step up who aren't the 3 guys with the most pressure on them this season. So I got the Phoenix Suns wins for my 4th pick. Lucas, what about you?
There's a juicy loss that's on the board, and I'm going to have to take it. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder losses. Let me get
Oklahoma City Thunder losses. Got it. Okay. Marvin?
I think the next clear choice, I'm torn. It's going to be either the Celtics or the Grizzlies. And I'm going to go
leaking.
You get
leaking. You can pick both teams if you want.
How about that? We're taking the Grizzlies wins and the Celtics wins.
Wow, that's pretty epic. All right, so then I guess we'll just keep going. We'll come back once it comes back to me. So Lucas, go ahead, make your 5th pick.
All right, I'm taking the only remaining really juicy loss team, and that's the Detroit Pistons. Give me their losses.
I don't know. The Pistons are actually surprisingly interesting.
No, I don't believe it. I think they are better than a lot of terrible teams, but I still think that they are trying to lose games. It would be very dumb of them to keep winning games. And I don't know, like the only way they win a significant amount more than last year is if Cade makes a big jump and Jaden Ivey is good. And I think even if that happens, they're still going to be a pretty significantly below 500 team. And I could see them being a contender for the worst team in the league still.
Interesting. Okay. So Lucas takes the Detroit Pistons. Lucas, actually, I think we're actually kind of glancing over another team. I'm gonna go with the Indiana Pacers losses. I feel like the Lakers are gonna shop Westbrook, and I think they're trying to get rid of him, and I think the Pacers seem to be the most likely suitor. And they'll just pay off his contract and then just lose for the rest of the season. Try to get Victor Wembanyama next to Tyrese Halliburton. So let's see the board really quickly, just one more time. We got Marvin with the Sacramento Kings losses, Pelicans wins, Houston Rockets losses, Grizzlies wins, Celtics wins. Lucas, Magic losses, Bucks wins, Warriors wins, Thunder losses, Piston losses. And then me, San Antonio Spurs losses, Jazz losses, Nuggets wins, Phoenix wins, Indiana Pacers losses. So that gets us at 15 teams. I think we're halfway through now. Halfway through this draft. And I think, honestly, it doesn't seem that uneven. I feel like maybe Marvin, I thought at first Marvin had totally dropped the ball with the first pick. But I think maybe he's gonna, he might come around and try to clean things up. All right, so that comes back to me. Now we're kind of getting into the teams that may finish 5 to 6 games over 500 sort of situation, and that's kind of the hardest to predict because it could swing one way or the other. Oh man. Okay, I think I got it. I'm gonna go with the Wizards losses. I feel like Kyle Kuzma, Brad Beal's gonna put up his stats. He's gonna put up whatever he needs to get, right? He's gonna get his 28, 30 points a game. Kyle Kuzma put up a solid 21, and then that's about it. I don't know who else they have, and I don't see them in any position to compete in a division as tough as the East this year. So I got the Wizards losses. Kicking it back to you, Lucas.
We're getting to the tougher parts of the draft, but I think right now I'm gonna have to go with the Cavaliers wins.
Damn, my team. I love the Cavs. I love the Cavs. Now, let me tell you why. I watch Donovan Mitchell, and they haven't had Darius Garland for the last few games because he has a laceration on the inside of his eyelid, which sounds really grisly.
Oof.
But Donovan Mitchell is putting up very nice numbers, and he's doing it in a way where he is playing with sort of team first mentality. He isn't just hogging the ball and playing like Karis LeVert. He's not playing like Westbrook, right? He's kind of like trying to get his teammates involved. He's taking shots when they come to him. I really like the way Donovan Mitchell plays, and what's so exciting is that they're doing this without Darius, who is like basically the guy who the whole offense runs through, who's a pass first guy. So I'm really excited to see what the Cavs are going to be for the rest of the year. Evan Mobley looks like he's taking a step in some direction. I'm very excited about the Cavs. I like that pick, Lucas. Okay, so Marvin, to you.
All right. So I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks wins.
Mavericks wins.
I think they've always been a little bit average. What seed were they last year? The fifth seed, sixth seed, something like that.
I think third.
Last year, I think
seed? They were the third.
they were the Warriors were third. No, Warriors were third, and then it was Mavs 4. No, or Mavs 5. Who was 4, man? I just remember 6 was Nuggets. Mavs were ahead of them.
Yeah, they started out a little sluggish to begin the season, not looking that impressive, but I think Luka Doncic will turn that around. He'll right that ship, and they're going to go on a nice little winning streak. And they'll finish quite a few games above 500, I believe.
Great.
All right,
Okay.
Next round.
Yep. Back to you, Marvin.
Back to me. I'm going to take the Lakers' losses
Good pick.
next. I think they're going to be absolute dog shit. I'm going to be rooting against them the entire year. I can't wait. I cannot wait to rub every single loss in my my friends who are Lakers fans' faces. It's going to be so exciting. I love every second of it. Lakers losses. Pick is it.
Here's the thing with the Lakers. I feel like they play like a bunch of. There's always these old heads who are like analysts or they do podcasts, and they're always talking about, the NBA is so soft. Oh, if I was in the NBA, I'd be doing this. I'd be being so physical. I get over everyone. And that's exactly how the Lakers play. They don't shoot threes very well. They're just like, we're just gonna bully you, and then they can't. Anthony Davis. That dude, I've given up on Anthony Davis. There was a time when we thought maybe this guy could be top 5 in the league, a consistent guy. No, he sucks, bro. He kind of plays like Kristaps. Lucas, what do you think about the Lakers this season?
I thought the Lakers' losses were a real juicy one. The only reason why I'm a little bit hesitant to go there is just because I think that they will make a pretty big move. Just being the Lakers, like I don't think that they're gonna allow themselves to continue to be this shit. But as they're built right now, this is a fucking terrible team. Like, really bad. And Anthony Davis hasn't even played that bad so far. It's like, imagine if he gets hurt. You have LeBron and like, who? Like, literally who?
No one.
But yeah, I mean, they could get some shooters and it could help a little bit.
I was tempted to take the Lakers way earlier, but what you said, Lucas, I think they're going to make a move, have a nice little run, maybe in the middle of the season, but I don't see them finishing even close to maybe 10 games below 500.
Yeah,
LeBron, I don't see them as a playoff team at all.
I think they could be the 10th seed. They could be the 10th seed, but that's a big maybe. All right, Lucas, to you.
Yeah. Also, I think it'd be really, really funny if their first round pick ends up being Wembanyama and it goes to the Pelicans. But with my pick right now, I'm going to take the Clippers wins.
Clippers wins. Kawhi's looking a little like he looks really rusty. And Charles Barkley had a very good quote the other day when it came out that he was going to sit against when Kawhi was going to sit against the Kings. It's like, hey, this dude had like a year off. He had like a whole year off, and now he's taking rest already off his 20 minutes like 4 days ago. Are you serious? I don't know. The Clippers, John Wall's back, I guess. Marvin, what do you think about the Clippers this year?
They're really enigmatic to me. I have no idea how to evaluate them. I think when Kawhi plays, Paul George plays, John Wall plays, I think they're a good team. It's just a question of how often are they going to play, and I really have no idea, and that's why I stayed away from the Clippers this round.
Okay. Great. So you guys are picking a lot of wins teams recently. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with the Hornets losses. Charlotte is just a bad team, and they lost Miles Bridges. I mean, he was like their second best player, and they lost him in like a not, oh, he tore his ACL in the Drew League kind of situation. It's like, oh, he was like committing a crime, which is a really bad way to lose your second best player. Because it's kind of like, well, even though he may come back and he may be like reinstated in the league or whatever, that's just a whole weird situation. And as a team with a guy who kind of has a guy like that on their team already, I gotta say, it just kind of leaves a weird, sour feeling in your stomach. Yes, Gordon Hayward. But the Hornets, they're bad. And I don't know if LaMelo Ball is good enough to make them competitive in any sort of facet. But yeah, okay, with that, let's look at the board really quickly. Actually, no, let's do one more round. Man, this is getting tricky. This is getting really tricky. Okay, with my next pick, I am going to take the Portland Trailblazers wins. The Blazers are a team where Dame can be Dame, at least during the regular season. And Anthony Simons, he had a great game last night. I think this team is going to be very solid, especially in a team especially in a conference like the West where it's very top heavy. I think the Blazers can get to a solid 45, maybe 50 wins. I mean, they're built to win. And they got Dame, who looks great. I'm glad he looks like he did before. It's good to always have a player like that come back from an injury. Lucas, back to you.
I'm gonna go with the Miami Heat wins. I still see them as a team that could be a top 4 seed in the East.
Great, Marvin.
I believe in the Raptors. I'm going to take the Raptors wins. I think they're a very well-coached team, and they made a good run last year at close to the end of the season. I think they're going to do better than they were last year, and so I'm going to pick Raptors wins.
That's a good pick. I was right there between Raptors and Heat.
The Raptors are so interesting because they do have. I mean, as a team that plays the Raptors a lot, I hate playing the Raptors because they just have all these dudes that are so lengthy, and then Pascal Siakam can just look like he can just score on anyone for like 10 minutes. It's like you can't stop him. Yeah, they're a very interesting team to watch. I'm excited.
Scotty Barnes is legit.
Scotty Barnes is legit. That is another factor in this. Okay, so let's take a look at the board while we're here. I'm gonna get like sued by McDonald's for singing their theme song. Here we go.
Yeah.
So top to bottom, Marvin, Kings losses, Pelicans wins, Rockets losses, Grizzlies wins, Celtics wins, Mavericks wins, Lakers losses, Raptors wins. Lucas, Magic losses, Bucks wins, Warriors wins, Thunder losses, Piston losses, Cavs wins, Clippers wins, Heat wins. And then Anton, Spurs losses, Jazz losses, Nuggets wins, Phoenix wins, Pacers losses, Wizards losses, Hornets losses, Trailblazers wins. See, as you can tell, I'm sticking to the losses. Marvin is leaning towards his inclination of who's going to win, and then Lucas kind of a mix of in between. Marvin, back to you for your pick.
All right, we're getting to the end here.
Yeah,
Man, this is really difficult. I think, you know what? There's a team in New York, but I don't want to pick the Nets.
There's two teams.
There's 2 teams in New York. But man, the Nets. Oh man, they look so bad. I can't pick the Nets.
The game is on right now. They're currently in a close game against the Mavericks right now, 95-93 with 8 minutes left. Who knows what's gonna happen there? They're playing in Brooklyn.
Man, I think the safer bet. Oh man, I think the safer bet is to pick the Knicks losses than the Nets wins. So I'm gonna go with the Knicks losses.
Knicks losses. All right.
Yeah. I like
Lucas.
Can we check what teams are left?
Okay. Yeah, I think teams
We have
that
the Hawks. I got them. We got the Hawks, the Bulls, the Nets, the Sixers, and the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
That's
see,
it?
those are the teams that are like stay away.
Okay. So Hawks, Bulls, Nets, Timberwolves, Sixers.
Yep.
Yep. Those two, the Nets and the Sixers, give me a headache, bro. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
No, you know what? It really is the Timberwolves. I don't really know what to make of those guys because the fit Gobert and Cat just doesn't work. It just really doesn't work. I mean, who saw that coming? Nah, not me. I never. I'm shocked. But sorry, at least go.
Bulls, Nets. Fuck. I'm gonna go with the Hawks. Wins.
Hawks wins. Wow.
Yep.
Why wins, not losses?
I think they're gonna win more games than they lose.
Well, that is a way to describe your reasoning.
I don't know. I like the backcourt. I think that, and also John Collins looks pretty good to start the year. So I don't. Yeah, I mean, out of these teams, I think they're the team that I believe strongly enough. Like I'd say the Nets and the Sixers are both gonna win. Oh fuck. They're gonna win more games than they lose too, but I feel like that because I feel like that about a lot of teams now. Fuck it, man. It's the Hawks.
I think
Okay.
the Hawks can be a very high value pick for you. Like this late,
Could
they
be,
have
yeah.
a very good potential.
All right, cool. So I guess I pick my last two. Do I pick my last two teams right now? I think so, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you gotta pick one of them, I guess. I'll just, you know what? Just gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go with Timberwolves losses. I just really don't believe. I just really don't believe in Gobert and Cat and all these weird quotes coming out of the Timberwolves. It just seems like they have more problems than their on the court issues. You know, it's not a good look if your star player Anthony Edwards is saying things like, "I do better in space. I do better when we run a smaller lineup." When you just acquired a guy like Rudy Gobert, who's known for his size and his defensive presence, and most notably his inability to score on the offensive side, to create his own shot. It's looking rough. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns talking about, oh, well, it's my fault that I haven't told Anthony Edwards to stop eating Popeyes. What is all this these subtle shots in the dark from the stars, the core of the team. And let's not forget, the Timberwolves gave up a haul to get Rudy Gobert, and they're stuck with him. He's gonna be there for a few years now. So this is their team, and it's not like you can just trade for a guy like that and then move him right away. It's looking bad in Minnesota. So I got Timberwolves losses, and then I'm gonna go with 76ers wins. You know, at the beginning of the season, if you told me with my last pick I got the 76ers wins, you'd be shocked. I think there's a lot of recency bias. I think there's some things that the Sixers can change. I think there's some things that the Sixers can do to be like, okay, let's not run the whole offense through James Harden, right? Let's give the ball to Joel Embiid, perhaps. But it is looking not so good in Philadelphia right now, right? Joel Embiid, I don't know if he can be healthy the whole season. That's kind of the other thing. Okay, Lucas, to you. Last pick.
Yeah, so between the remaining teams, the Nets and the Bulls, I'm a little bit tempted to take the Bulls' losses, but I'd rather just say fuck it because I think they're an interesting team, fun to watch. I'm going to take the Nets wins.
Nets wins. I like
Yes.
it. I like it. Because
Very.
you know, they still have Katie and Kyrie. They still have them. And what if Ben Simmons does figure it out, right? There's so many what ifs with this team. I think they're a team with the lowest floor and the highest ceiling. Because I think if things really do come together, I don't know how surprised someone would be 10 years in the future looking back at the 2023 season. They said, oh, look, the Nets won. Look what they had on their team. They had Kyrie, they had KD, they had Ben Simmons. Their team is good. They have a good team. They're missing a solid rim protector. That's kind of their biggest problem. And, you know, they need stronger performances from Ben Simmons, of course. This season, Ben Simmons, 14 fouls, 17 points. Can you believe that? Okay, Marvin, taking it to you.
All right, it's down to the Bulls. Wins or losses? That's the question, huh?
Yeah.
Man. What's Lonzo Ball up to? Is he going to play this
No,
season?
Lonzo Ball is like the... No, he's coming back. Oh, wait. No, he's not. Oh, actually, he's going to be out for like a long time. Oh, and he's not starting the season. Oh, and remember, this started with like, oh, he'll be back in a couple weeks. And that was last season.
Yeah.
And now it's like we may not see him until after January.
He did.
Like somehow
he did
he's
have-
worse.
He had a surgery to remove a bone fragment that was impinging on a nerve in his knee. Something crazy like that.
That sounds not good. That sounds
That
not
does
good
not.
to me.
That does not sound good, and that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. But then again, DeMar DeRozan can elevate the Bulls a little bit, and Zach LaVine is nice.
No, I think Zach LaVine has to get traded. I think they got to move up Zach LaVine.
Man, I'm gonna go with the Bulls losses for my final
Bulls
pick.
losses. That's a good pick. All right. Well, look at that. We just completed the 2022-2023 Draw the Line Bills draft. Let's pull up the board so everyone can see who has who. Starting with Marvin with the first pick. He took the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings losses. Pelicans wins. Rockets losses. Grizzlies wins. Celtics wins. Mavericks wins. Lakers losses. Raptors wins. Knicks losses. Bulls losses. Lucas picked the Magic first. Magic losses. Bucks wins. Warriors wins. OKC losses. Pistons losses. Cavs wins. Clippers wins. Heat wins. Hawks wins. Nets wins. And then lastly, I picked the Spurs losses, Jazz losses, Nuggets wins, Phoenix wins, Pacers losses, Wizards losses, Hornets losses, Trailblazers wins, Timberwolves losses, and the 76ers wins. Now we get to the fun part where you guys get to predict one team in your team, I guess, that you get to predict their final record, and if it is correct, that team's Bills will be doubled. Okay, so let's start with Marvin. No, actually, I'll go first because you went first to like pick, so I'll go first. Give you some time to think about it. Ah, man. So there's a couple ways to think about this, right? Do you think about like, hey, do I pick one of the middle teams? Do I pick like a Timberwolves, record because maybe I'll be close. That's more. It's easier to predict, and maybe then their points, which would be like mid-tier, becomes doubled. Is that what you would do? Or do you just go all in, pick one of the guys you picked first, and just try to see if you roll the dice? I am going to pick the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz are going to go 20-62 this year. I think that's a pretty safe record. They've won 4 games already. 15. Can they get 15 more wins? Can they get 15 more wins? No,
yes.
They can't, because they are not trying to win. There's no reason for them to be like, no, actually, Lauri Markkanen is the cornerstone of the future. He is the guy we want. No, Colin Sexton is the guy. Kelly Olynyk and Jordan Clarkson. Who wouldn't want that team? I'm getting called. I need to tell Haley I'm doing it.
They already have Wembanyama. His name is Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri Markkanen. What a clown. Okay, so Marvin, to you. Oh, no, sorry, Lucas.
Okay. If it's me, I got my finger on the pulse of the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors this year are going to go 63-19.
Wow. That is a crazy record. And you're telling me they would go 63-19.
Good fucking pick. Pick.
Without being the first seed in the West?
I don't know. Why can't they be the first seed in the West?
Okay, I mean, I just don't think they're gonna be there.
They can be. I mean, I'm just saying this is why, right? The way that I think Kerr is going to run this offense in the regular season is relying a lot on these younger guys and then using Steph, Clay, and Dre as closers, right? So if you have a team that is built with people who can last and are going to play a lot, like Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, James Wiseman looks really good. This is the bench that we're talking about. That's the bench right there. They're going to keep Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, fresh, Andrew Wiggins. So when it comes down to the game, say, oh, Warriors are down by 5. Well, guess what? We can put in Steph Curry for the last 10 minutes of the game, and we're gonna win. Like if we're up by 10, we'll keep Steph Curry on the bench until the last 5 minutes of the game, and we're just gonna be able to game manage. I think it's gonna be a real game managing situation, and I think that the Warriors are capable of manipulating that game managing situation to win a lot of games, and I'm talking about 63 of those.
Okay, fair enough. Marvin?
Man, I don't know how I let looking back at my picks, when they finished last season, I was trying to question a few of them, but
That's a good sign. That's a good sign that when you had the first pick in the draft and you look back 5 minutes after the draft and you're like, wait a second, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
No, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it though. But the fact that y'all let the Grizzlies slide to me, I think that's a value pick right there.
I think the Grizzlies Celtics turn was really good for you. I think that was a really good middle round pick. But go ahead.
I think the Grizzlies are going to do better than they did last year. I think they're going to go 59. Actually, they're going to go 61 and 21.
2 60-win teams in the West.
They're going to go 61 and 21.
61 and 21. That is a pretty hefty record. I wish the Grizzlies well. Okay, that's great. I guess just to wrap things up, so we'll keep track of this, and then over the course of the season we'll kind of keep a tally on how many bills each person has. Do you guys want to just say, just for fairness, we just don't count the first 5 games of the season and just say it's just today?
No, we're counting.
No,
the first
hell
5.
no.
We're counting the first 5. Okay, I mean, totally fair. Okay, so great. I guess we'll just round things out real quickly by talking about the NBA just very quickly. We'll do a quick vibe check across the NBA. Actually, I don't know. We kind of just talked about the whole NBA just now. So how much is there to talk about? I guess we'll talk about NFL really quickly. I want to talk about my Browns. The Browns, bro. I've just decided to stop watching. I just can't watch this fucking team anymore. I have been a Browns fan my whole life, and now I'm like, why did we blow it all up to do this? Why Baker was fine. I would have been happy with Baker taking us to the divisional round and then just losing. I would have been fine with that. But we're not. But we can't do that, right? We decided, oh no, we need Deshaun, and look at where it got us. Jacoby Brissett, man, he's so bad. He's unwatchable. He just I don't know. He just oh, I'm just here to enjoy my time. And if I'm yeah, you seem to be enjoying it. Fuck. Anyway, talk about the Giants real quick. The Giants are good. What the hell?
How are they good? How are they good?
How are the Giants good? How are the Giants good? I think Brian Daboll is doing a great job. Lucas, what do you think about the Giants?
Yeah, I like the Giants a lot. I agree with Daboll. I think he's done a lot there. I don't know, man. I still do feel like they're obviously I think they're punching above their weight class right now, and I think that there will be kind of a comeback. I don't think Daniel Jones is as good as he's played. I really don't. But I think that they can still make the playoffs. I think they can still make the playoffs, though. I definitely see the Giants as a first-round playoff exit, and I don't think it's going to be close when they get to the playoffs. But, if I was a Giants fan, I'd still be happy. I would not have expected this at all. I would have expected 5 wins total,
Yeah, it's crazy. They've beaten the Ravens, the Packers, who are kind of not that great. But when I'm looking at this, they haven't beaten that many great teams. I'm still a little sold. It's early in the NFL season, and I think it's still too early to tell which teams are good and which teams are bad. The Giants they're good right now. They're 6-1, but I think they're going to come back down to earth. I really don't see them as that great of a team because they're just not that different than they were last year. And they play the Cowboys. They play the Eagles twice. They play the Vikings. But man, that's a really exciting team to watch. I think if you're a Giants fan, you're having a good time right now. Props to you.
Very last thing. World Series predictions. Kicks off tomorrow. Astros, Phillies. Who do you got?
Phillies.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think that the Astros are going to win it in 4 or 5 games. The Astros have not lost a single game in the playoffs so far.
That's
and
crazy.
they're going to have their full rotation, which is a much better rotation than the Phillies. Their bullpen is much better than the Phillies. I think their order, it's like they have similar power, but like it's playoff baseball, and like I think pitching is the most important thing. I think the Phillies could get lucky and go to 6 games, but I don't think it's going to be close.
I look at the Phillies, and they remind me a lot of those mid-2000s Giants teams. That's how they feel to me. I mean, I don't know if I look back at the Giants and can recall any like outstanding, pitchers that went on to do crazy good things after the Giants. It's more about who gets hot at the right time. And I remember watching the Phillies Cardinals game 1 of the wild card, where St. Louis was winning, and they had come back at the bottom of the 8th to put Philadelphia down 2-1 going into the 9th. And then the Phillies put up like 5 runs on them in 1 inning. And since then, the Phillies look kind of unbeatable. They look like the team that like every one of their guys in the lineup can just lift one out of the park, and they're on the board. That sort of hitting potential and that sort of like we're not afraid of anyone attitude is what you need to win the World Series, especially when you are at a disadvantage in the bullpen, right? And when you are at a disadvantage, in the starting rotation. I look at the Phillies and I think this is a young, exciting team, and most of all, they're led by a guy like Bryce Harper. I think we all forget, Bryce Harper for the last couple years has kind of not been obscure, but he hasn't exactly been the star that I kind of remember him being on the Nationals. And that might have been because the year after he leaves the Nationals, they win the World Series. But now Bryce Harper has a chance to do that in Philadelphia. What is he, like? This is year 3 of his 13-year contract. There's 10 more years of Bryce Harper on the Phillies. I'm going to be 32, and Bryce Harper is going to be looking for it, and he's going to be his contract year for the Phillies. I can't believe it. But I got the Phillies. I think it's going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be a dogfight. But what I like most about this series is that there's going to be hitting. There's going to be lots of hitting. We got dudes who can just hit bombs. That's what we want to see in the World Series. I don't want to see like a 2-1 strikeout fest. I want to see like 13-10. Like Bryce Harper went 6 for 8. I want to see that. That's what I want to see in the World Series.
I actually really enjoy the pitching duels. I think when it's close and it's like a low-scoring game, each pitch carries so much tension, and that's what's so fun about playoff baseball is every pitch matters. You're always on the edge of your seat because any certain pitch, it can be taken out of the ballpark. You can go yard, flip the script just like that. An entire series can hinge on a single pitch. And I think when it's low scoring and it's close, like a 1-2 game, every pitch matters more because now you're just like, oh, you got to go yard, right? You got to do something. And then it's beautiful, beautiful.
All right, let me get this take off. This could be some clickbait, but I don't think people like I want the Phillies to win, and I want the Phillies to win because of like the inspirational run that they've had to get here, but I don't care about the fact that the Astros cheated anymore. I don't give a fuck. Like they cheated what 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, and they beat the Dodgers. So let's fucking go. Like. I'm hyped on that. Like, if they're going to beat the Dodgers, I don't care how you're going to do it. If you want to cheat, go the fuck ahead. Look at the team right now. The players that are on the team, there's like 2 that cheated. It's like Bregman and Altuve. Everyone else is like a new player.
Altuve is 0 for 22 in the entire postseason.
It's not Altuve that is fucking winning him this. Like maybe the fucking cheating would have helped him, but they're not doing that anymore. So let's get over it, okay? Let's not shit on this team for cheating. Which also, like, come on, bro. Like, they cheated, bro. Like, they were trying to win. Like, it's not that bad. Like, everyone's talking about, like,
fuck. I personally never gave a fuck because they did it against the Dodgers, and so
exactly. It's like
sue me.
Obviously they wanted to win the World Series. Why you mad? Why you mad? You didn't think of it? You didn't think of it first?
Why are you mad? Yeah, here's my take with the Astros, okay? I understand why a team that would lose to them would be like, oh, the Astros, they're just like a terrible franchise, blah, 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 blah. But listen, that was 2017. 2017.
Bro,
we are 5 years removed.
5 years ago.
We cannot be like, oh, no, like, we should not root for the Astros because they cheated. And people are saying, oh, like, it's not the fact that they cheated. It's just that they weren't really punished by the league. I'm like, cry me a river. Like, it's not like I understand that they cheated by, you know, getting the signs and they knew the pitches, but you still have to hit the pitches. It's not like that just gives you a way to be like, all right, and now I turn my bat and it becomes home run bat. And that's not what they were doing. It was just like, we know what the signs are. And that helps you so much. It's kind of like
how many times, Anton, how many times did you steal the signs in high school?
I would steal the signs every fucking game because you know what? Stealing the signs is such an advantage. And I think this is just a very...
You just went back on yourself. What
do you mean?
Right, you were like, oh, stealing the signs doesn't give you an advantage. You still have to hit the ball. And then you just said...
Well, it gives you some advantage, but it's not like you just automatically win the game because you have the signs. I've stolen the signs plenty of times. We lost by a lot of runs, okay?
That's facts.
Most notably because some of the hitters were like, I actually do better when I don't know what's coming. Yeah, right, buddy. Tell me the Astros did not benefit at all from doing that. Anyway, I gotta digress because this is getting out of hand. But the Astros, I do think they're a great team, and it is kind of hard to hold on to that, right? A lot of people are salty as hell, but they're not thinking. They're just like, oh, I heard the Astros cheated, so I must think they're bad. Not true at all. So I'm looking forward to the World Series. I think I want the Phillies to win only because it would be nice if the Astros lost. You know, it just kind of would be nice. It'd be kind of like, oh, okay, like still they don't get everything. But another part of me is like, but if the Astros do win, it's just like, shut up. Everyone's like, shut up. Okay, it doesn't matter anymore. So with that, that's gonna. Sorry, Lucas, you want to say anything?
I was just gonna say, you know, like Phillies still are an underdog, and everyone wants to cheer for an underdog. So it's like, you know, regardless of the cheating situation, I think I still like the Phillies here, and like I'm gonna be rooting for the Phillies. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Great. Well, this has been another episode of the Dropline Podcast. I was joined by the lovely Lucas Watkins and the mystical Marvin Lee. I am your host, Anton Lee, and until next time, talk to you soon.